So Jordan Peele's Nope isn't exactly what I thought it would be. But somehow that is simultaneously refreshing and disappointing. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Before I get into my thoughts on Nope, I have to talk about Jordan Peele for just a moment. Full disclosure, I've said this many times, I'm not his biggest fan. I recognize that he has talent, but there are things outside of his work behind the camera, some things that may even be out of his control, that just paint him in a kind of unflattering way. For me personally, Get Out was a great introduction for him, even if I do believe that movie is a bit overrated as well. And then his follow-up, Us, felt like a complete misstep in my opinion. So when I hear people say things like, oh, he's perfect, or he is the greatest horror director of all time,
I don't get it.
it's cause for me to pause because I don't really think he's earned that yet. It always comes off like people are so desperately trying to validate him because of reasons other than the actual work that he puts out. But much to my surprise, over the weekend, he himself managed to shut down some of his own overhyped attention. Like this guy on Twitter who was trying to make the point that Jordan Peele is the greatest horror director of all time, to which Jordan Peele himself responded to this person, telling him to put his phone down and that he will not tolerate John Carpenter slander.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot, it's serious!
This level of respect for people who came before is something that the idiots on Twitter usually lack, but this reaction by him made me look at him in a slightly different light, at least for today. And this brings to mind a question. Has Jordan Peele lived up to his own hype that he established with Get Out? And for me personally, I don't believe that he has.
Fool this man!
In fact, I think he shares a similar trajectory with M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night had all this hype after his first few releases and then kind of fizzled out. And then he had hype again after Split and then he fizzled out again. And the reason that this comparison is so easy to make is that I believe that they are both these high concept directors that often have a good or great idea and they just don't always know how to execute it. Especially the endings, and I think Nope falls into that category.
No shit.
Now I'm not gonna lie to you, there were long stretches of Nope where I was genuinely interested in what was going on. I don't think there's much in the way of interesting characters outside of Steven Yeun's character, who does the most with the brief amount of screen time that he has. But it wasn't the characters. What intrigued me most about Nope was the concept alone. I'm a sucker for anything UFO or alien conspiracy, so this movie, in theory, was right in my wheelhouse.
Welcome to Earth.
And what's appealing about that subject to me is the unknown, and the fear that that inspires. It's about what you don't see and how your mind fills in the gaps that makes it so frightening. Whenever I talk about this topic, I always go back to these two Bigfoot movies that I saw. One was Willow Creek and one was Primal Rage. One treats the material seriously and doesn't show the creature at all. The other shows the creature a lot and is treated more like a slasher movie. And I say give me the movie that shows me less any day of the week.
Goddamn right, that's the only way I work, Cap.
I don't know about anybody else, but I like using my imagination. Now, early on in Nope, I did get these ambiguous vibes, when they were only showing glimpses of whatever this thing is. If you compound that with another scene that shows you what this thing is actually doing, let's just say it was pretty horrific and it gave me War of the Worlds or even Fire in the Sky type vibes. However, as the movie progressed, they started to explain more and they started to show us more. And this is where my interest slowly started to fade away.
Son of a bitch.
And those M. Night vibes of not being able to finish strong started to creep in. It's a shame because I was really invested up until that point and I really felt like he was onto something. The whole idea behind this movie is that the characters are looking to profit in some way on this phenomenon. Steven Yeun's character wants to use it to reclaim the fame that he once had, and that he lost after a tragedy. And this causes him to make some questionable assumptions.
Why?
And then you have OJ and Emerald, who are the two siblings who own the horse ranch. Their motivation is to capture this thing on camera in the hopes that it will change everything for them as well as people all around the world, but that's obviously easier said than done. I couldn't help but think about that old joke while watching this about how white people never get out of dangerous situations in horror movies when shit starts to hit the fan. And yet here are two characters who witness some pretty wild shit, and I just can't fathom a situation where I would stick around. I don't give a fuck how fascinated I am. Once my house gets rained on with blood, it's time to hit the fucking road.
Too bad we can't stay, baby.
There's also a slight clashing of tones in this movie when it comes to being comedic when you're in these horrifying situations, and that's something that has become all too familiar in modern entertainment. Oh, and for those who are wondering, I didn't really notice any heavy-handed race stuff at play here, so that was also pretty refreshing.
That's racist.
Overall, I have to say there was a lot of things that I really enjoyed about Nope, more than I thought I would. Most specifically, the moments of genuine tension, and the parts of the film earlier on that were a bit more ambiguous. Unfortunately, it just fell apart for me in the third act, when they start to explain and show a bit too much. Listen, the ending's gonna work for some, it's not going to work for others. But for me personally, it feels like a missed opportunity. Because I believe that this could have been Jordan Peele's most universally appealing movie. But that only could have happened if he actually stuck the landing. And in my opinion, he didn't do that, and a story is nothing without some kind of satisfying conclusion. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give Nope the careless Sam Gerard.
I don't care!
Y'all be cool. Shut up.